Siddhasana is our chosen starter pose tonight. It translates as the pose of the adept. I'm not sure what that means, but I feel very adept sitting here. So females, right heel towards the groin, not touching, but right in front. And then the left foot, left foot, I'm backwards. Left foot goes in. I am going to go backwards for you. Left foot goes in, I'll mirror you. And then right foot either tucks with the toes between the calf and the thigh, or this is the Burmese seat where you sit with one leg in front of the other. And this creates a really wide base, a grounded and steady base, which is what we're looking for in all our seats. Our seated postures is where we begin to prepare for meditation, where the deeper transformation takes place. We start with Siddhasana mudra. Siddhasana is the sacral chakra. And when we talk pelvis, which is the topic of tonight, we have to draw into the sacrum. So just take one hand and place it right behind you where the middle finger is just above the crack, to be dainty about it. And your hand is right now pretty much on your sacrum, the 5 fused vertebrae, where we transfer the energy from the very movable spine into this rock of a piece. The vertebrae, the sacral vertebrae, are the thickest in the body. We'll come to that in just a moment. Let it dip in a little bit, dipping in, facilitating the lift upward through the spine. Draw the shoulder up and down the back. And then let there be a little lift up through the back of the skull, through the back of the skull. Now take your right hand and place it in your left hand. This is the mudra for Siddhasana. I'll spit it out here shortly. Thumbs are touching gently. And then we begin to settle in. Wiggle about a bit, fidget about. If this is not comfortable for your body, always feel free to choose one of your other postures that you know, whether that is Virasana or Sukhasana. The pelvis is where the energy of the legs, the earth energy, meets the fluid energy of the pelvis. It is, the element is water, which then has to negotiate the mobility of the spine. One of the reasons that we often see that the disc issues are L5 and S1 is because too much movement in lumbar, not enough in the pelvis. If it feels safe, I invite you to close your eyes. Bring your awareness inward. The in-breath lifts and expands. And the out-breath grounds and deepens. And as you breathe in to your lower abdomen, let the breath also draw into your back body. A sense of expanding across the sacrum. And invite to that a sense of expanding across the rib cage. So we're moving front to back, sideways. And then adding the last dimension, length. A sense of the entire spine elongating on the in-breath. The 3D breath, front to back, sideways, and length. Expanding out from the center and drawing back to the center. Hey Mag, welcome. Expanding again, front to back, sideways and lengthwise as you breathe. Let the in-breath and the out-breath be of about the same duration. The samasthiti breath, even breath. And after the next exhalation, as you inhale, allow your eyes to open. Release the mudra and just shake your hands out. We'll take the legs out in front and sit lengthwise on the mat. I'm going to sit flat on the mat as I am going to prepare to come all the way down. I'm just going to shake my legs out a little bit after being all bound up. And then from here, come onto your back, all the way down. And you're going to bend out your knees as you come down, bending up the knees, and place the feet about hip width apart. And then to just invite in some awareness with the arch and flatten. As you inhale, arch the back, and as you exhale, flatten. And as you're doing that, you're rolling over the sacrum, inhaling, drawing it towards the tailbone, and exhale, flowing up, flattening to the top. As you just move between, again, the arch and flattening up the spine, notice the back of your head, ideally the skull. The back of the skull and the sacrum have mirror movements. So as your tailbone is drawing towards the floor and you're arching, does the chin also move towards your chest? And as you're flattening, does the chin move away from the chest? Now you're not moving the neck consciously. You're not using the muscles of the neck. You're simply allowing this movement as we move the pelvis. That movement translates up through the spine to the head. It is connected and hence should also move. It's subtle. It may not be very big, but if your head is not moving at all, where does the movement stop? What is stuck? What is stuck? So letting the head just be a friendly follower. After the next flat, you'll come back to neutral, coming back to neutral. And then from here, we're going to explore some more of the mobility we need just for simple walking. Just hike the right hip up towards the shoulder and then let it go. Hiking the left hip up. The muscles you are using are the inner obliques and also the hip hikers on the back. We're going to come to that a little bit later. Do the two sides feel the same as you drop and then release? Is one side a little bit more eager? Is there some stickiness? And then the last one we're going to play with, and it's a little bit more tricky. Draw your right hip towards the floor. The left is going to come up a little bit. And then switch. Like you're walking on your pelvis, on the back of the sacrum, as one side of the sacrum presses down and the other side moves up. So the sacral joint has some mobility, not a lot, but it needs to be able to move, otherwise we cannot walk. All right, let's let go. Take the arms out to the side, walk the feet about as wide as the mat, and windshield wiper twist. Exhaling the knees down, inhaling up, and just go from side to side. Let the head go opposite of the nose. Sorry, nose opposite of knees. That came out all bungled up. Don't make it too hard, but make it interesting. Be focused and be present. And then as you come up to center, we'll walk the legs out. And take the arms overhead. So we just did a little bit of somatic movement to get a little bit more jiggy around the pelvis. Now, the other little sequence that helps with mobility is back to first vinyasa. So as you exhale, let's hug the right knee in, chin to chest. Inhale, head down, left arm out to the side and right knee out to the side. Exhale, cross the knee over for the twist. Give it to your left hand. Coming back to center, clasp the hands behind the thigh. Press up through the right heel. And exhale, hug the knee back in. And inhale, full body stretch. Left side, exhale, hug the knee in. And inhale, half bound angle pose. Knee goes to the left side. And then exhale, give the knee to the right hand and twist. Inhaling back to center. Clasp the hands, fingers behind the left thigh with a hamstring event. And exhale, we hug back in. And inhale, full body stretch. Reaching out through heels and fingertips. Let's repeat that. Exhale, draw the knee in, right side. Inhale to the side. Exhaling across. Inhaling center. Hamstring stretch. Exhale, hugging in. Inhale, full body stretch. And left side, exhale, knee to chest. Inhale to the side. And twist. Make it fluid. We're back at center. Press up through the heel. And exhale, chin to chest. Full body stretch. One more time. I'm going to just have a peek at you as you exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, half bada. And exhale, twist. Inhaling back to center. hamstring event. And exhale, hug the knee in and full body stretch. One more time, left side. I'm going to leave you to it on this one here. Basically, we're taking the hip through most of its movement, not the extension, but the flexion. So we'll have to get to the extension. No worries, it's on the menu. And then as you inhale and stretch all the way out, take the hands down alongside the body and just pause here, just a little interlude. We know this one, we've done it many, many times. It's a great sequence. If you feel a little stuck in the hips, in the back, in the shoulders and neck, this is all about fluidity. And again, the element that we want from the pelvis to translate upwards. Now back to as a second vinyasa, also very nice. So I thought we would just add that for good measure tonight. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Now if your low back is a little chatty tonight, I bend up the knees because that's a big lever that we're working with. As you exhale, hug both knees into the chest, lift the chin into the chest. And then inhale, head down, arms out to the side. Exhale, dip the knees down to the right side. Inhaling up to center. And other side. Dipping down, come up to center. Inhale, straighten the legs, swoop the arms overhead. Arms are not overhead. Legs are to the sky. As you inhale, wide legs, spread the legs wide, draw them back together again. And one more time, inhale, wide legs. Back together, excuse me. Exhale, hug the knees in, wrap the arms around, chin to chest, and inhale, full body stretch. That's worth repeating. So here we get a little bit more hip opening. As you exhale, both knees draws in. Inhaling, arms out to the side, head down. Exhale, draw the knees to the right. Inhaling up. Exhale to the other side. Inhaling up. Let's inhale, sweep the arms overhead, extend the legs to the sky. And then take the knees wide, inhale, exhale, back together. Again, inhaling wide, exhaling back together. Take a breath in and exhale, knees to chest, and inhale, full body stretch. Same but different. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, let's take the arms up to the side, head down, exhale, knees draws to the right, back up, exhale to the left, back up, sweep the arms overhead, legs to the sky, and inhaling, take the legs wide, back together, one more time, legs go wide, back together, and exhale, hug everything back in, knees to chest, full body stretch, and release the arms down. Bending up the knees, bending up the knees. So a little visit from last week with the bridge pose, the pondering of the hips. Take a block, place it between the thighs. Place a block between the thighs. Mula Bandha, the root seal or lock, is an important concept for pelvis stability. As you squeeze the block, there's kind of a sense of the tailbone, like an antenna, is just pulled right back up. That is Mula Bandha. So inhale, let that go. Exhale, draw, tailbone up, squeeze the block, squeeze the block. Now let's lift the hips up, lift the hips up. So everything consolidates. And then exhale, slowly lower back down again. Let's do that one more time. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze the block, draw the tailbone up. I know it's a really weird cue. And then as you inhale, lift the hips, squeeze the block, squeeze the block. So glutes are working, hamstrings are working. And then exhale, slowly releasing back down. Move the block to the side and roll over onto one side. And let's come into tabletop. Tabletop. Hands under the shoulders. Fingers spread wide, ready for weight bear. But first, let's just take a little pit stop into puppy pose. So stretch the hips back, stretch the hips back. Create length. Broaden the shoulder blades. Let's broaden the shoulder blades. So a straight line from wrists all the way to the hips. Let's inhale, bring the shoulders up over the wrists, and exhale, draw back to downward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Take the dog for a little walk. And if you're in tabletop, just take one leg back, wiggle it around a little bit. So tabletop or downward facing dog. We're just going to play a little bit with all things dog here before we get all very serious about the dog. Wiggle it about a little bit. Then let's bend both knees, bending both knees. And then draw the tailbone towards the sky. Tailbone takes it towards the sky. Draw the sacrum into the body, and that's what this action helped do already. So there's a sense of a little back bend as you begin to straighten the knees. Pull the belly onto the spine, and then lengthen the spine back, lengthen the spine back. So sits bones are high, high, high. Let's look up on the in-breath, and as you exhale, we're going to bring the right foot up between the hands. And let's bring our blocks to the top of the mat. So we step the right foot up, we got the blocks. Let's take the left knee down. Take the left knee down. Using the block, we're just going to get a little bit more lift. The back leg right now is our hip extension leg. Let your front knee draw forward. If the knee overshoots the ankle, creep the toes slightly forward again so that your knee is right over the ankle. Knee is right over the ankle. Let's exhale, stretch the hips back. And inhale forward, back and forth. So a little bit more hamstring. The hamstrings and the quads from last week, they cross over two joints, knees and hips. So what happens in the hamstrings is going to happen in the pelvis. If it happens in the pelvis, it's going to happen in the spine. If it happens in the spine, it's going to happen in the shoulders. And so it goes. All these rubber bands. Next time you come forward into the lunge. Let's take the right hand to the inside. Right hand to the inside of the right foot. Right knee is over the right ankle. Right knee is over the right ankle. So just check. From here, coming on to the forearms. coming onto the forearms, or maybe not, it's a big maybe. And hug the right knee to the shoulder, hug the right knee to the shoulder, to the shoulder. Sometimes called lizard pose. It's an interesting pose. Tuck the back toes under, and then press the back heel back. Lift the back knee, lift the back knees. So you're either on your hands, your forearms. That's what they call a big hip opening event. Now remember squeezing the block in bridge pose. Do that same action in the leg. Squeeze the block, squeeze the block. And let's take the left knee down. Bring the hands either side of the front foot. Move the blocks to the sides, and we're going to transition back through downward facing dog. Through downward facing dog. Looking up on the in-breath, and as you exhale, and step the left foot up between the hands. Take the back foot down. And then let's add the blocks again. And remember, the blocks comes in 3 convenient heights. So do the one where you feel you can maintain the length of the spine, not rounding. And exhale, slide the hips back. Inhale forward. Playing with hamstrings and quadricep. Hamstring on the left leg, quadricep on the right. I probably don't need to tell you that. You can feel it just by what we're doing. Next time we come forward to the lunge, let's stay there. And then take your left hand to the inside on blocks or just on the mat. It is what feels comfortable for your body. Moving the belly in and up, in and up. And then maybe come to the forearms, maybe come to the forearms. Hug your left knee towards the left shoulder. Don't let it fall out. So your big toe mount, your left big toe mount stays firmly grounded. And then maybe tug the back toes under and press back, reaching, elongating. Like almost full split pose. You know, we're not going this night, so just don't panic. No need to panic. Let's take the knee back down. Plant the hands, either side of the foot. Let's travel back to downward facing dog. Again, downward facing dog. Let the head hang, completely suspended. And take the knees down, and then take one of your blocks and place it at the back of your mat, just on the medium height. Oh, no, sorry, low height is what I'm trying to say, low height. And then come back into downward facing dog, so that the heels are up on your block, heels are on the block. Measure. Come forward to plank pose. Really consolidating here. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. And now let's take the right leg. You got to lift it over the block. Straight to the sky, straight to the sky. Reaching it straight up. Keep the hips pulling back so you can bend the left leg. Let's take the hamstrings out. Keep your right leg powerful, lifted, powerful, powerful. And Allie, you'll take it straight back. You'll take the leg straight back without lifting. Take the right leg down. Place the heel on the block. Inhale forward to plank pose. I know. Let's do the other side. Let's get that one checked off our list. Draw back to downward facing dog. And then with scissor sharp precision, left leg draws up. As you lift the left leg, keep it powerful, long and strong, long and strong. Muscles are wrapping around both. While the hips stay same height, same height. So you have to lift the right hip so you're not collapsing into the right side. Lift the right hip, drop the left hip, but lift the left foot. I know that is confusing. Oh, you guys are looking fantastic. Let's take the leg down. Take the leg down. Inhale forward to plank pose. And then take the knees down. Separate the knees wider. Tops of the feet comes down. And then draw the hips back towards the heels. And wide knee child's pose. The forehead will come to rest on the mat, your forearms, or block. As you bring the breath into your body, let your sacrum have a sense of expansion and opening. Let it all cool. Are you holding tension while you're in a resting pose? That's an energy mismanagement. That sounds harsh though. So just notice that, are you still holding tension anywhere? Can you relax and let the breath be a little bit deeper? A little bit deeper. And then on the next in-breath, we're going to draw back up to tabletop. Tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, belly button pulling to the spine. This time, let's take the right leg back. Take the right leg back. So very similar to what we just did. Keeping the pelvis neutral. And keep the leg very long and strong, So you feel the muscles of the leg powerful. The rump has engaged. Now lift the right hip up, So the toes are now pointing to the side, It's like a teeny little half moon pose. Draw the right hip back down to neutral. Release the knee to the floor. Let's do a cat and a cow. Cat and cow. And then neutral. Then we're going to prepare for the other side. Belly button is on the spine. And we take the left leg back. Keep the weight even in the hands. As you lift the left leg, keep lifting the right hip. It likes to sort of just collapse and drop, and then we overlift the left. Evenness in the hands and in the pelvis. And now we lift the hip up. Toes are now pointing to the side. So we add a little rotation in the spine, but keep pressing down through the hands, looking awesome. And then let's draw back to neutral. And take the knee down. There's another cat and cow right there. And then from here, back through downward facing dog, heels on the block, or repeat what we just did. So we'll do the same event in downward facing dog. I'm going to take my right leg to the sky again, Lift the left hip, and then lift the right hip. Don't drop the left. So now the toes are pointing to the side, even pressure in the hands, Bend the right knee, bend the right knee. Let it drop behind. Heel towards tush, heel to tush. Straighten the leg. And then let everything unwind. Come back down. Take the knees down. That takes a lot of effort. I know. Let everything get a little breather. We still have to do the other side, right? All right, let's do it. Hips draw up, heels on the block. Take the left leg to the sky, but keep lifting the right hip. Lift the right hip. And then lift the left hip. Lift the left hip. Bend the knee. Drop the left heel to the left tush. Left heel to the left tush. Knee to the sky, knee to the sky. And Allie, you keep the leg straight back, but bend the knee. Let's draw back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And walk the hands to the feet. And we're going to come all the way up into standing. So first, hands to the feet, forward fold. Hands to the hips, and inhale, press all the way up. Here we are. Tadasana, mountain pose. Ponder that last week with the whole foot and legs thing. So take that stability again, the groundedness. But now we're going to play a little bit with it in balance pose. So when we start on our back, we were doing things that we're now going to repeat standing. The first one is Baxter's first vinyasa. So let's take the arms up overhead. And then exhale, let's hug the right knee in. Hug the right knee in. And we take it out to the side. And we take it across. There's a little twist. Arm goes back. Take the hands under the thigh. Press the leg forward, hamstring. And exhale, hug the knee back in. And stretch. Left side. Hug the left knee in. And we take it out to the side. I am obviously much more wobbly on this side. Leg across, note to self. And hands under the thigh. Long leg. Hug the knee back in. And full body stretch. I think we should do that one more time. Right leg leads again. Hug the knee in. And take it to the side. Take it across. And hamstring event. Hands under. Straighten as much as is available. Hug the knee back in. And woohoo! Full body stretch. Left side. Hug the knee in. Out to the side. Across. And hamstring. And knee again. And full body stretch. Hands down. All right, now Baxter's second vinyasa. Just kidding. But now as you stand, that is a little bit of exertion. And remember, Lauren Fishman says, balance and posture are the two things we want to facilitate aging well, because otherwise, you're going to look at people, the tendency is kind of to sort of collapse. So maintaining good posture and then maintain your balance. So here we used our hands to help. We're going to play a little bit without using the hands. First, this is called, I think this is really, really funny, Goose Walking. So this is where we're going to get the hips not the hips, the waist engaged. You're going to keep your legs straight. Keep the legs straight. I'm trying to see which one is going to show better. So stand at the bottom of your mat, at the bottom of your mat. And then without bending your knees, you're going to walk to the front of the mat. Walk to the front of the mat. So what you're doing, your hips are gonna have to do the work. Knees stay straight. Your inner obliques are doing the work as you come up to the top. So just turn around and just watch me here for a second. Now maintain as much stillness as you can in the spine, so as I walk, my waist is where I'm going to get the mobility. Whoa, I walk right up. So make sure that you're not doing a whole lot of trunk movement. Can you hold it in the waist? So go the other direction again. As women, our outer hips, because of our anatomy, is often where we end up in trouble, and hip imbalance, which again leads to low back thingies. So right now we want to invite the other cast member, the supporting cast member, to join. You can do this standing still, just lift one heel and lower it. In Danish, this is called goose walking. I have no idea what it's called in English. But it's one way to train the hips. You can stand in front of a mirror. Are things happening? Are the hips lifting? So your pelvis is moved from side to side. This is necessary for a healthy gait. Now, there is more. First, without the block. Hands at the hips so they're sort of out of the way. Shifting the weight onto your right foot, and just take the left foot out to the side and let it come back home again. So this is pure abduction and adduction. Abduction out and in. That's just a great little movement. And the hip you're actually strengthening is a standing one. So let that stay really neutral and under the hip. We should see what happens on the other side. So these are just little balancing snacks you can throw in anytime. Lifting out to the side and back home. Easy peasy. So I'm going to say we pretty much nailed this one. If you find that this is really challenging, and you decide, you know, maybe I should do that more. Here is the approach from Denmark. Do it until you're fatigued, and then you're done. We're going to add another one. Another movement here, similar to what we did with Baxter, but hands less. So this is all muscular. There's no little helpers. So start by taking the leg up in front, and then take it out to the side. Take it back to center, and then this time shoot it straight back, straight back. Take it to the midline and out to the side, the one we just did, and come down. Other side. Bend the knee up, so very similar. Out to the side, back to center, back behind, back to neutral, out to the side, and down. So you can vary this endlessly to make it a little bit more interesting. Take a block. You can also do this on a stair tread. If you know your balance is a little chatty, then I invite you to hold on to a chair or a wall so that you're not at risk of tumbling over. I'm going to step my right foot up on the block, so now the left is just a hanger. And then we just do the same thing again. Take it up, take it out to the side, woo, back to center, take it down and back. Take it down into the neutral, out to the side, and down, and step down. What this does, it allows the psoas to release down. So as you stand now, you may notice it feels like your legs are no longer the same length, because we use gravity to release the psoas. We should do the other side. So standing up, hips are neutral. So notice that you're not dropping down, but keeping everything at the same height. And we took the leg up, out to the side, Captain Morgan, back to center, leg down, swing it back to neutral, out to this, woohoo, out to the side and down. And you can notice, at least I'm noticing, that the leg I'm standing on is fatiguing. But now that the first side has had a little rest, I think we need to do it just one more time. So this time I'm actually going to watch you. So step up again. And then with your hands, you can monitor the pelvis. It's really steady. So we took the knee up, swung it out to the side, closed it up again, took it behind, back forward, neutral, abduction, leg back, and slowly step off. One more time. Stepping up, lifting, knee up. So here we take the knee or the hip through the full range of movement, abduction, adduction, rotation. And again, you can vary this 1,000 different ways. It is a fantastic hip strengthener, especially when you add the goose walk to it, or the gander walk, depending on the gender. Use your body in different ways. Step off the block and stand. How are things? We're going to take it down for a little bit more of a test drive here. Let's take a block and we're going to sit in Dandasana. Have your strap nearby. Have your strap nearby. And access to your blocks, because we just never know what we may need. With the hands by the hips, let's lengthen up through the front spine, ground down through the legs. And then take the right leg in. Take the right leg in. Left hand will go back and right hand will go to the sky. Go to the sky. Take the right hand down to the inside of your right knee and create a little bit of friction there. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine, and exhale, twist to your left, twist to the left. So Marichyasana 1, Marichyasana 1. Inhale, lengthen up, ground through your straight leg. Press the knee into the elbow, elbow into the knee to facilitate the twist. One more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. And then returning to center. As you do so, let your right knee come to the floor. Janusharsana, head of the knee post. Let me turn so you can see what all I'm doing here. So, right knee, out to the side. If you know your hamstrings likes arm extenders, just have your strap at the ready to lasso. I'm going to turn away from the bent knee. So turn away from the bent knee. So I face now over my straight leg, over the left leg. Inhale, I'm going to take my right arm to the sky. Right arm goes to the sky. And then exhale, coming down over the left leg. Over the left leg. And here, I can catch it with a strap. Or if I can reach the foot, catch the outside of the foot with your left hand, outside of the foot with the left hand. Keep the right hand back on the mat, fingertips are down, because that's a little push-pull now. Inhale, lengthening up through the front spine. Exhale, there's a little twist in this pose. And then draw the belly button towards your thigh. Lengthen again. And deepen into the forward fold over the leg. So deep hip flexion. Let your sacrum move into the body as the sacrum moves in. Is there maybe a little bit more forward fold? There is no correlation between the ability to flex the hips and IQ. So just enjoy exactly where you are. Do not let that what causes you suffering. And now release your hand from the strap or the foot and use the hand to push yourself back up again. Lift your knee, the bent knee, take it out straight, Dandasana. Hands are pressing down, lengthening up through the front spine. Press the legs down. And then let's take the left knee in. Left arm to the sky, slice it down on the inside, and create a bind. Elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Take your right hand back, and we're ready. Inhale, lift, and exhale, we twist away from the knee, away from the knee. Inhale, lengthening up, and exhale, deepening the twist. Move at a pace that is comfortable for you. Comfortable for you. One more breath. And then slowly come back to center. Take the knee down to the earth. And now again, strap. Absolutely an option. Right hand is back, left hand goes up. Reach it up. Turn over the straight leg and forward we come. Either using the strap to catch the foot or catch the foot on the outside. Inhale, lengthen the front spine, lift the heart, broaden the collarbones. And then exhale. Use your hand on the leg. You have a little traction here to draw down, but be kind. Be kind. The in-breath lengthens and expands. The out-breath deepens, deepens. Steady breath, steady pose, steady mind. And then release the strap with your hands. Place a hand on the floor and use the hands. Help yourself back up. We're going to travel back through Dandasana. Hands beside, lengthening up through the front spine. And we are ready for Supta Ekapada Rashakapotasana. That rolls right off the tongue. Just that. So this is one-legged king pigeon pose, but the safer variety. I'm just going to demonstrate it first so that you know where we're going and not get lost in all the business of it all. I'm going to start by taking the block or blanket and place it under my sacrum. Figure 4. Draw the legs in. So we know figure 4. This was just so I could get a hand literally on my bent knee. Take the deliverer down, and now I'm going to take that out. So same pose as we were just in, except now the hip is in extension. The hip is in extension rather than in flexion. Let's see what happens. Come onto your back. Lift the hips, slide the block under. Lots of blankets. And you can also absolutely do this one without anything under. So Meg, come onto your back first or do it that way. So with the block or blanket on the hip, let's take the right ankle across the left thigh, right ankle across the left thigh. So your left leg is just your delivery system. Draw your left knee in so that you can catch your right foot and knee. So left hand holds the right foot on the bottom and right hand cradles the knee. Now release the left leg down and slide it out long. Slide it out long. So your right foot moves up towards your left shoulder. So this is rotation, rotation. So in pigeon pose, the one I often call the knee slayer pose, we cannot adjust the tension on the knee when we have the full weight on our body resting on it. If you can't comfortably reach your foot, you can catch it with a strap and invite that bit more. You do what works. Of course, the invitation here too, should you wish, is to sling the leg behind your head. Breathing. Breathing as you keep reaching out through your straight legs. We're opening the hip flexors on that side, getting length, getting length, getting length, getting length. So the straight leg along the floor while holding your right leg shin across the chest or belly. But left heel is on the floor. And let's draw the left leg in, draw the knee up, catch your right ankle. Relax the right foot with your hands and everything comes back to the floor. And we switch. Left ankle across the right knee, flex the left ankle. Draw the knee in. Catch the foot and the knee and release the right leg out along the floor. Right leg out along the floor. Keep the right leg long, long and strong. The legs are doing two very different things. One, extension, straight leg, hip extension, bent knee rotation, and abduction. So incredible amount of mobility in the hip, at least in theory. But if we don't take the hip through their mobility, we'll lose it. Things just rushed up. Like that sewing machine I just bought at an estate sale. I don't think anybody used it for 10 years, so all the gears are like, we shall see. Don't be that sewing machine. Let's slide the right leg in, catch the leg, and deliver the leg down. Undo. Pause here just for a moment in supported bridge pose, and you may want to stay here because we are, as we often do, going to close out with a pretty carny. So now we'll draw one leg in at a time, knees over hips. Let the tailbone release down towards the earth so that we end the back bend, and then take the legs to the sky. Legs to the sky. One of the poses, the inversion that is listed in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So this pose gets validated as one of the ancient poses. There are many, many poses that we practice today that are not that old. Doesn't mean that they're not good. They're just not in the old texts. This one is. Steady breath, steady pose. Lifting the sternum, broadening the collarbone. So your upper body is in a bridge shape. And let's bend the knees. Place the feet down one at a time. And then squeeze and release. Inhale, press the feet down, squeeze the buns. Exhale, relax. And repeat 4 more times. Squeeze the buns. So you're hugging in around the sacrum. Hugging in around the sacrum. And after the 4th, 5th time, move the block out of the way. Come all the way down. Let the spine relax. Give it a couple of breaths and then straightening the legs out. If we straighten the legs out too quickly, we may scare the psoas a little bit and everything gets grippy in the back. And if that happens, slide a blanket under your knees. Simply slide a blanket under your knees. Take a moment and assess whether you're comfortable. Adjusting a wee bit, maybe. Placing legs and arms equidistant out from the center line of your body, with the palms facing upward, with the palms facing upward. Releasing the jaw and the tongue. And then release the tailbone. Let the breath flow free and easy. Free and easy. As if every cell in the body is its own lung. And as you breathe in, each cell is filled up. And as you breathe out, each cell breathes out with you. Breathing in ease. Breathing out tension. And wherever there is dis-ease, visualizing, breathing in light blue. Breathing out dark, gray, brown. Notice if you have tensed up anywhere. And then release. Jaw, tongue, tailbone. Now gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up the knees. Placing the feet on the mat. Rock the knees gently from side to side. Roll all the way over onto your right or left side if that feels better. Pause on your side. And then use your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture.